Hello, and thank you for tuning in to this Engerati Studio interview at Asian Utility Week 2016. My name is Denise, and with me in the studio we have got Desmond Tan, and he's the Senior Manager, Product Management of Electronics Pacific Asia Limited of the Singapore branch at Fujitsu. Desmond, did I get everything in?
Yes.
Okay. And then we've got Nobuaki Tomisato.
Yes.
And he's the Senior Marketing Engineer of the Marketing Department, System Memory Division at Fujitsu.
Yes.
Welcome to you both. Thank you for joining us in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So in this particular session, we're going to be talking about digital transformation. Hopefully we can broaden our horizons and talk about the whole Asian region.
Right.
It's a big one, but I'm sure we can get an idea of what's happening in general. What is driving digital transformation in Asia's utilities, and why is it so important? Who would like to take that one?
All right. So our understanding about the driving force of digital transformation in Asia utilities is increasing power demand in East Asia. And for example, power demand has increased 2.5 times higher than that of 1990, but power demand per capita is only 1/3 of worldwide average. So we can expect power demand has increased even more. And many utility companies hope to invest efficiency and get good return from investment. So digital transformation is key to improve ROI and key to reduce cost. And that is key of the digital transformation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. How can a properly implemented, modernized digital ecosystem deliver true business value?
Yes.
Perhaps let's talk about Asia specifically.
Yeah. So it needs a lot of investment and a lot of cost to deploy smart meter and AMI systems. And we think first step what utility companies should do is to get proper tariff from end customer, and tariff is come from power demand, and data of power demand is in smart meter, and we think utility companies should put emphasis on data reliability in smart meter, even if momentary voltage drop happens. So we can see many power failure and voltage drop in this region. I mean, the power quality is not so stable in this region. So smart meter should operate in such a tough environment. So we are dealing with F1 products, that is semiconductor non-volatile memory, and we can contribute such a tough condition and get proper tariff and to store, collect power demand. We can contribute, we believe. Okay.
So we've been speaking a lot about the benefits for utilities and for the energy sector as a whole, but what is in it for the customer?
Yes.
How's it going to benefit them?
All right. So if customer use our FRAM in their smart meter can store power demand data correctly. I mean, the customer and the utility company can get proper tariff from end customer. That is very good. And that is because of FRAM. Our products has three kinds of advantages. And the first is high endurance. High endurance enables smart meter to store data very frequently. I mean, the smart meter can store data constantly. So if the voltage drop happens, the data just before the voltage drop has already been stored in memory. So the power demand can correctly stored in smart meter, and the tariff is a very correct value. And the second advantage is fast lighting. Sometimes smart meter have to store data just voltage start to drop, and so time is limited, and memory must store data before voltage goes to zero. So fast writing is key for memory of smart meter. And the third one is low power consumption during writing. And when voltage starts to drop, power resource is limited. So the power consumption is, if there's very high power consumption, that make a risk. So power consumption of memory is the key of the smart meter. So these three kinds of advantages we can contribute to utility company, metering company, and the customer also.
Right. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah. Also, actually, from the point of view of consumer, right? We should look at it from the consumer point of view. How can the consumer benefit from the AMI, right? Infrastructure. Of course, we are talking about consumer paying all the time. How about getting back from the utilities? For example, if I can reduce the usage a certain amount of time, right? Then that amount of energy can be consumed by others that need it more. With this, you probably can get a kind of a kickback with through vouchers or something. So this will give a drive to the consumer to use the technology to actually buy in for them. It's actually a good buy in for them.
Because that's really what it's all about, isn't
Yes,
it?
correct.
Without the customer buy-in, a lot of this technology is really not going to work.
Otherwise, it's just a top-down. And then as a consumer, I'm a consumer too. As a consumer, you just pay and pay and pay. Then how about getting something back? At least that gives them a kind of assurance, oh, I'm actually getting some value back from this implementation. I think this is one key area that the authorities can take a look, not only from the top end, but from the consumer side as well.
Okay, interesting. And what do you think stands in the way of true digital transformation in the region? Desmond, do you want to take this?
I think the true digital transformation requires the whole entire ecosystem to work. Not only from the point of view of set maker, utilities, and as well as the consumer as well. I think we have to get the whole ecosystem up and running. Not only per se, okay, I want to implement a system like this, but you have to consider what about the rest, right? I think a good buy-in from the consumer will be one good push for this technology.
Sure. Okay. So we've been talking about, focusing on the customer and the customer's needs. Where does customer engagement actually feature in Asia right now? What is Fujitsu's opinion of this? Is it on the right track?
We are certainly on the right track because through this exhibition, we have seen a lot of customers very involved with AMI, and they are always looking for technology, how we can improve and get the AMI rollout going. Right? I think the key issue is how to do a real good study of the requirements and then to come up with implementation. But to talk about implementation, actually if you look at it from the top down, you'll find that regulators are just giving a kind of regulations, right? But they have to consider what the set makers can do to help them as well. Right? So we are hoping that the regulators can have a good view of the technology and then to influence the set makers to use the best technology for it. For example, if you are talking about tendering, right? Usually the tender goes to the lowest bidding customer. But is that the best? That may not be the best because they may be using a very old technology and trying to fit various softwares in and complicated softwares that will impede the performance of the whole solution. Right? In the end, of course, you may have a solution that is running, but if there's a failure, who is going to pay for it? Who will be the final one to lose, right? Utilities will be the one because I cannot collect the revenue. Right? So what Fujitsu is proposing is that we have FRAM technology that is able to cover this kind of loss because in terms of power failure, our technology is able to store the information at the shortest possible time, and then when the power fails, the data is stored. So data will be intact for the next, when the power is up again, we will be able to read the data back again and then continue. That's where we are driving at. Without FRAM, you will lose a chunk of data because from a certain time to a certain time, the piece of information is missing. That is money to the utilities.
Right.
So we need to actually help the utility to cover that. So we are hoping that in the ecosystem, we have a win-win situation for both utilities as well as the set makers.
Right.
Of course, with the consumer coming in as a part of the game plan to make the whole ecosystem up and running.
Right, right. My last question, I'm sure both of you may want to contribute. What is your advice to utilities? Desmond, do you want to start?
Okay, my advice to utility is that not only to consider the cost point of view in the setup of AMI. I think, of course, the cost is a critical point, but we have to look at it from the ROI, overall ROI returns.
Yeah.
Not only from the initial investment, how about the after sales, after support? Right? If the set fails often, you have a huge data loss. So how can we make the whole system function without a glitch, right? We will have to have a better technology.
Yeah.
That's where the regulators are coming to give a kind of improve the specification so that the users, the end users or the set makers can make their products more robust and using a better technology to offer to the operator.
Fantastic, sound advice. Nobuaki, do you want to add to any of that?
I think it's all of that. And we have a track record in China, and we have shipped different products to China company, China metering company. 33 million pieces of product have shipped China metering company since 2010, and the company reaps the benefit from it, and they put emphasis on data reliability in smart meter, and that can contribute to reduce cost, and that can contribute to improve ROI or utility company. Yes.
Well, thank you for that advice, and I'm sure utilities will take that on board. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us in this
Thank
session.
you.
We're going to have to end it there, unfortunately. To our viewers, thank you so much for joining the session. Should you wish to gain more insight into the Asia Utility Week, please have a look at our playlist on njrti.com. Thank you.